New year and another battle royale has came. Great, who would have predicted this? But you know what, I'm hoping that I'm proved wrong. Another battle royale came out. It's a new take on battle royale. I've said this before and I've been proved wrong. Okay, you know what guys, I ain't gonna complain now. Give it a few months and I'll make why Apex Legend died. But for now, let's just make a video on the top 10 best weapons in the game. I've played a fair amount, so I have some experience with a lot of the guns being used in the game. So let's see if we can get some info across to you noobs. Gracing us at the number 10 spot for being the shittest weapon in the game, we have the VK-47, also known as the AK-47. My personal opinion of the VK, it's kind of hard to say. I've only used it about 8 times, but the few times I have used it, it's given me bad results. There's just so many other guns that do a much better job in all areas, obviously except damage, because the VK does have the highest damage for an assault rifle. The VK assault rifle is equivalent to the AK-47. Like I said, the weapon itself is an all-round great weapon. It's good for medium distance, but it's really trash for everything else. Long range, don't even bother. It takes heavy ammo, and the attachments of course are not that hard to acquire. The stats of the weapon is 16 damage for the body and 32 for the head, which is pretty decent. The pros for the weapon is one of the highest damaging assault rifles in the game. It's got good medium knockdown power, and that's about where it just ends for the pros for the weapon. The cons, a lot of recoil, gets worse at the longer range. And really don't use this weapon. There's so many better ones in the list you'll see that do a much better job than the VK. No surprise whatsoever, rank 9 we've got the Hemlock assault rifle. Was my favourite gun in the beginning. I've always been a sucker in all games for assault rifles that have burst on them. I think they're so easy to control and do high damage. This weapon does do fairly high damage. However, the more you play it and in the later stages of the game's release, people just become much better with weapons that do more damage. The gun itself is a assault rifle, takes heavy ammo. You can do burst fire and single fire for this weapon. Single fire, of course, long range, and medium distance you want to do burst fire. The weapon itself does 18 damage on the body and 36 on the head, which is decent. The pros for the weapon being burst fire, of course, it has fairly good long range, controlled fire. It's really easy to land the shot. The cons being burst fire means that when you're in close range, you're just gonna suck. With the low magazine, you're most likely gonna panic and, you know, spray all of your ammo, and that's it, you're dead. The guy's gonna reload or switch to another weapon and you're gonna get fucked. It's difficult to land shots in burst fire without a doubt. It's only really meant for a medium distance, and that's it. You don't want to use it for long, you don't want to use it for short, and medium is where it excels at, but other than that, it's pretty damn bad. At the rank 8 spot, we genuinely have a surprising one, and that's the longbow. Personal opinion, great weapon, very underrated I'd say. Since not a lot of people run the sniper class, it does a lot of damage. It's got like enough stopping power to like stop an elephant in its track, but not a lot of people run snipers in this game. I don't know why. It's got great headshot damage, body shot damage. I personally don't use it a lot, but it's definitely something I will be using in the later stages of the game when snipers most likely will get a buff. The gun itself is semi-auto as a sniper, commonly found throughout the map, takes sniper attachments, heavy ammo, has big damage if you can land your shots, and you know, it's a great sniper that's very underrated. But you might be wondering why it's on this list. Well, mainly because this list is my opinion and community opinion, so I'm trying to balance it out here. And this gun, I'm going to be honest, it's just not used a lot. The stats for the weapon is 55 damage on the body, 110 on the head. The pros, it's the closest thing you're going to get to a Krabber, I'm butchering that, but it's a legendary sniper. It's the closest thing you can get to it. It does its job really well. It one-shots people with no armor. It's semi-auto, so there's not much of a wait between your first and second bullet going in. The cons, as a sniper, I'm going to be honest with you, it's got no cons. It does everything well. Of course, well, it's going to be bad at close range, but that's something you know, you're gonna have your secondary weapon for. Okay, we have a sticky one here at rank 7. We've got the G7 Scout. Personal opinion, very underrated long range weapon, very underrated in general. You know, it's kind of like a weapon which I was debating, should I put the longbow before this or G7, but at the end I concluded, you know, the G7 has more areas that you can use it in, not just very long distance. It's a great long range weapon, good consistent damage. You can find it everywhere. It's very common along with other weapons that are light ammo. The weapon is a DMR, really good medium and long range damage. Takes common light ammo. The gun has little to no recoil. It's probably like the lowest recoil, along with I think the R301. It's pretty much as fast as you can tap. If you can tap fast, you're gonna fire fast. If you want to tap slow, then tap slow and you will still do pretty decent damage per second. The stats is 30 damage per body and head damage is going to be 60, so it's pretty decent. You can knock down people with 2 headshots if they have no armor. Pros: decent damage, very low recoil, easy to find the ammo, best used for long range, and I guess you can throw in medium range as well. It's pretty damn good. Cons: it can be hard to use at close range, but I've actually come across quite a few players that have absolutely decimated 2 teams by just using this as a close range weapon. You can empty your clip pretty damn quickly if you are going to panic and shoot, so be sure to calmly take your shots and you know, land every single one of them, since the magazine is pretty damn low. Rank 6 spot, we have a weapon that kinda was the hardest to place. Originally this weapon was going to be very low. I'm talking rank 9, 8, you know, something low, but obviously a little bit of backlash on Reddit and I decided to put this up on my list a little bit more. The Peacekeeper, Peacekeeper, I don't know what the fuck it's called, I don't use it that much. It's a shotgun. I don't know what Apex Legends has with shotguns, they seem to be on bad terms or something. All shotguns are pretty damn bad except for the Mastiff. However, people can experience mixed results with the Peacekeeper. Sometimes I found I can one-shot people right in the head or body if I land all the pellets, and sometimes I'm gonna you know, hit all of the pellets as well and only get 10 damage in, which is kind of confusing, and it's just like, what the fuck. The gun itself is a common shotgun with common shotgun shells, easy to find, plus it's pretty deadly in the right hand. Some people literally only use this the entire match. For long range they charge up the shot with the mod, or short range they just blind fire and they hit the shots as well. So in the right hand and the right attachments, you can murder squads with this. The stats is a bit confusing. Body 10 damage per pellet, so 11 in total, and that's a total of 110 damage if you land them all. Head is 15 points per pellet, 11 in total, so that's 165 damage on the head. The pros: other than its high availability, the Peacekeeper has good damage, and if you can do the double shotgun, yes, that's a thing. It's the same thing from Fortnite. Run 2 Peacekeepers and switch between them while you're firing. It's like it's what the EVA 8 should be. A fast firing shotgun. The cons: it's inconsistent as a shotgun. Sometimes you're going to land all of your shots and drop people, sometimes you're going to land all of your shots and not drop people. I personally don't want to use this weapon. I was going to include this low on my list for a reason, but somehow it landed quite high up. But again, it's all down to you and what your preference is. Reaching the halfway mark, we have the R99, one of the first guns I used when I first started. It's got a monstrous rate of fire, it just spits bullets out like crazy, and if you can land your shots, you'll drop your enemies real quick. The gun is a submachine gun, one of the fastest firing in the game, along with a prowler, and if you get the correct attachments with it, and again, if it's in the correct hands, you will annihilate enemies with it. It's 12 damage per body and the head is 18, quite low, but again, land your shots and that won't matter. Pros: extremely high rate of fire. Of course, the rate of fire equals high damage per second. It's a very common weapon you're going to find, carries light ammo with it. Great for close range fighting and clearing out buildings. The cons: with extreme rate of fire comes extreme recoil, and you shoot and you look at your clip and your ammo and you're like, where did all of it go? That's one of the things you're going to have to pay for when you use this weapon. Not something I use a lot, but a lot of people do use it, and the rare occasion I might pick it up and use it myself. Okay, so rank 4 onwards is where it's just a free-for-all. It's so hard to choose which gun goes on top of each other because they're all extremely good in their own right. So this is why I kept changing between the rank 1, 2, 3 spot over and over again, but this is why I ended up with. The R301 is one of those guns that is the default weapon of all the games that just happen to be extremely powerful. This weapon recently reached the high ranks of everyone. It's everyone's favorite weapon at the moment. Very easy to find. When you drop, it's almost always there. The ammo is very plentiful as well. It's a moderate damaging assault rifle commonly found across the map, taking light ammo, light attachments. The stats for the gun is 14 per bullet on the body and headshot damage is 28 per shot. The pros: Apex Legends are very different battle royale in general, with clunky battle controls. I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna quit the first time I played. I was like, what the fuck is this? But this weapon kind of made me stay because I was like, okay, it's not that bad, you know. This weapon's got like really good recoil control and I kind of like it. This gun basically outshines the VK, Hemlock, all the other assault rifles, I'd say, and a lot of pro players use this weapon a lot, and I see why they use it. Cons: honestly, there's not many cons for this weapon. I guess the damage is a bit low, but that's understandable for its common availability and great recoil control. Rank 3, honestly, the more I use this weapon, the more I fall in love with it. It's the Wingman. Ever since some random dude in the lobby said, oh, he likes the Wingman, I was like, what the fuck is this guy on? Is he on crack? I used it and I was like, damn, if you land your shots with this, it's a fucking monster. Highly underrated, it does huge damage, takes no time to find the weapon or the ammo for it. It's probably gives me the real battle royale experience. I love using this weapon, it's hella fun, especially when you land your shots. It's easy to find as well. The gun itself is like a magnum like pistol that does huge headshot damage, especially with the attachments, great body damage as well, little to no drop off damage as well. The stats, 45 per bullet on the body, 90 damage per bullet on the head. The pros, very high damage, 3-shot someone with no armor. I think you can 2-shot someone with armor, I think, except for the legendary, I'm not sure, but you will drop people hella quick with this. It's very common to find as well. It's not epic, it's not legendary. Wait, they don't have epic on this. Wait, that's something they could add. They could add epic weapons on this game. That'd be pretty cool. Cons, slow rate of fire. Of course, you know, you need to keep calm between your shots because you only have 6. That's why extended mag is something you really need for this, and a good sight. So take your time between your shots. Make sure you have some distance between you and your enemy. You'll win your fight. Blessing us with its grace, at rank 2 we have the Spitfire. The only decent LMG. I'm not gonna lie, I hated this at first, mainly because I thought it was a devotion and I was like, fuck all the LMGs, they're all the same. But then I realized, you know, nope, I'm really wrong on that. This LMG is everyone's favorite. It's reaching rank 1 everywhere. Everyone's saying, you know, it's amazing, but I have a better weapon at rank 1, which I might get a little hate for. But I'm thinking, you know, this LMG definitely deserves rank 2. It's got insane damage, recoil control, high magazine. The gun itself is fit for all purposes as well. The Spitfire fires heavy rounds, of course, along with the Devotion. They're the only 2 LMGs in the game. Of course, the Devotion being absolutely terrible. The recoil is bearable. With some practice, the gun is good for all situations. Long, short, close as well, but I wouldn't recommend it, but that's up to you. I've seen a lot of people drop enemies with this. You're guaranteed to decimate everyone if you use this weapon. The stats for it is really good actually. It's 20 damage for the body and 40 for the head. High rate of fire is high damage, good magazine size. If you're fully kitted, you will rampage throughout the entire map. The only cons is the kickback is a bit hard, but with some practice it makes perfect. Finally, a weapon gracing us with its presence. This weapon I had no idea was good. I was gonna dismiss it the moment I saw it. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? But then after playing with it a bit of here and there, you know, experimenting with weapons, I put the weapon mod, the select fire on it, and oh my god, you guys are probably wondering what it is, and it is the Mozambique. The Mozambique is absolutely, no, I was joking, it's the Prowler select fire. Of course, you guys probably seen Jack Frag's video and you're like, hey, you got it from there. You're correct, I did get it from there. So Jack Frag, thank you, this weapon is amazing. The Prowler SMG is my favorite gun. I didn't think much of it at first, but of course, you know, you experiment with weapons and you get to know them, and then I found out this gun is like a laser. It's so good, and the only thing I think that has a faster rate of fire is the R99. I'm not quite sure, although I did hear that this weapon is has more DPS than the R99, I'm not sure. But the gun itself, originally it's a burst, and honestly it's fucking terrible as a burst. Bad recoil, and you know, it takes heavy ammo. With select fire, it's a much faster weapon. The recoil pattern is quite low. The stats for the 5-round burst, I don't really have the select fire stats, no one's really released that yet. So 14 damage on the body and 21 on the head as a 5-round burst. The pros, amazing mid and close range. It's so good. It's got a decent sized mag, quite fast reload speed as well, common type of ammo, and it's underrated as fuck. No one's going to be using this weapon a lot. You have the upper edge compared to all the other people. The cons, of course, bad at long range. The recoil does go kind of out of hand, so in a sense you could say Spitfire's better, but again, in the rank 4 spots, all of the guns are good. They could all be rank 1 in someone else's book. They have their own situations where they excel at. So again, that's it really. You know, Prowler, that's what I think is the best weapon in the game, but it could be Spitfire, could be Wingman, could be R301, who knows. That's it for my video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and you know, next thing you know, I might be making a video a few months down the line saying how bad Apex is and how bad some of these guns are. But you know what, for now that's the list. If you guys did like it, be sure to dislike, and I'll be sure to spam this video everywhere. Thank you, goodbye.